Hi, Samantha. Welcome to Power Woman Wellness. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm good. It's long time no see, you guys. I was just interviewed on her podcast today or yesterday, and now she's on mine, so it's a good little flow we have going on.
I know.
Well, I'm excited to talk more about what you do and like the business side of things. And then I know your sobriety journey is something we definitely want to hit on because I feel so inspired just kind of hearing what that has done for you. But first, share with us what brought you into this space of like content creation and podcasting. Like, is this something you've always wanted to do?
Oh, so I've actually been doing this for 10 years.
Hmm.
So I've been managing social media, and back in the day, I started out just creating little graphics to post on different people's, Instagrams was pretty much the gist of it.
The
Um,
OG days.
yes, the OGJs, where you could like grab a nice stock photo. But yeah, I would just go around and network and build my business up.
Oh my God, I
And
forgot about that.
yeah, it's literally been like 10 years in the making. So did I always want to do this? No, because even 10 years ago when I started and I was like, oh, I'm a social media manager, nobody really knew what that was and they didn't really take it serious.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I mean, you hear about that now a lot, but yeah, I'm trying to place myself back in 2015, which is the time I started my business too. And what I like, and I was OG. I'm like an OG Instagram user, like personally. But I do remember starting to use it for business, and it was mostly personal. Like it was not developed for like business. So I very much am with you in the early like social media days. That's from like the OG. I remember being in memberships where you would get stock photos, and then
Mhm.
obviously you can use them.
Mhm.
And then, oh my gosh, I felt like it was. Do you feel like it was so much easier back in the day?
Yes, but also we didn't get as much like traction going. There wasn't as big as
Mm,
of an impact being made and there wasn't as many people seeing things. And it was like one piece of content I feel like doesn't have the value that it has today.
yeah. Yes, I agree. And podcasting, have you been podcasting for that long too?
So I've had a couple different podcasts. Initially, I had a joint podcast because I kind of did, as entrepreneurs do, like you start these little side businesses. And I started a virtual magazine for women in business. It was called Badassery Magazine. So we had the Badassery podcast, and that was pretty cool. We worked it up really big. I got to interview Gary Vaynerchuk. That was a lot of fun.
Ooh,
Yeah, but eventually that business partnership didn't last, and so I kind of went back on my own. And then I like went full blown with the Samantha Parker show last Feb, so not this February, but the February before, so February
okay.
2024.
Nice, nice. And since you've been in the space for so long, what would you say is the biggest mistake you see people making when it comes to their brand online?
Oh, I love this question. I already know what it is.
No thought needed.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's probably not what you think it is, but I have a really hard time like telling people like, here's what you need to do on social media because everyone's like, oh, wait, haven't you ever done a course? And I've done like different variations of those things. And it's because I feel like there's no one way to do social media. And I don't think
Yeah.
it's okay to be like, this is how you go viral because it's not it's a lie. It's a bold-faced lie. How about that? I'll say it how it
Ooh,
is.
love.
So one thing I've noticed is that people try to replicate other people's success and it just doesn't really work. I think you can learn a lot from people. So like when people come into my sphere, obviously I'm like, okay, here's some different types of content. Here's some different things we're gonna like try and do, et cetera, et cetera. But ultimately, like we have to double down on what you're gonna be really good at. So some of my clients are really good talking on camera like this. And some of them I'm like, oh, we're gonna have to find something else that works. But they know, you know what I mean?
Stay behind the scenes, girl.
Yeah, they know. So,
Oh my gosh, it's funny.
yeah. And I've even seen lately, I've had these courses popping up. They're like, this is how you go viral. And it's like this viral formula where you're just doing like off the wall skits.
I
And
don't want to go viral. I
yeah.
really don't. I don't. And I know that, like, well, yes, I agree with a lot of things I've read of like going viral doesn't mean you'll have like the ideal person to work with. And it's so true. Like, I don't
Mhm.
really care to go viral. I just want to speak into the people that I need to speak into. So I get that. I feel like yes, I actually feel like it's losing power, to be honest. I think a year ago, going viral was like all the rage, like everyone wanted to, but I think more than ever, people are starting to lean into their authenticity online, which is what I look for. I look for real, authentic stories and takes. And I also think more than ever now, we can kind of see when things are written by ChatGPT. So I, as much as I can, sometimes my brain's like all chaotic and I'll be like, can you organize this thought for me? But outside of that, I always try to lean in on my like raw, real writing and not totally just, be like, hey, let's give me something to write about. Because I think we're also seeing that more in social media now. And it's kind of a turnoff, at least from what other people have told me they view it as.
Yeah, it just depends how you're using it and what you're doing with it. I
Yeah,
love ChatGPT. I think there's
me
some
too.
phenomenal things. But yeah, if you're just relying on your like for your entire social strategy, I don't see that working out for you.
Yeah, yeah. What, if you had to choose one piece of a social strategy that's working, what would you choose?
I just keep telling people to just show up. Like, we just need you to show up,
Yeah.
So put your face out there. That's what's really working. Like, keep showing up. A big thing that I'm having to educate a lot of people on, and I'll have to pull like raw data to show them sometimes, is some of these platforms are almost like the Titanic for them. They're going down, but they don't want to let go of their like precious Instagram. And, I'm over here showing them, I'm like, look, we have 24 million views on YouTube right now this month, like, or look, we've got this going on here. And so sometimes people really stick to what worked for them once and they're not willing to take a little pivot.
Oh, so yeah, outside of Instagram, is YouTube like your other favorite place to be?
Yeah, so YouTube, I feel like I just barely, I'm with you guys, okay? I'm with you. Instagram is like our lover, right?
Well, I mean, YouTube also, well, not the shorts, but YouTube in general is long form and it just takes
Mhm.
more time than, making a reel or whatever. So
Yeah,
there's a little bit more intention behind it.
I wish that I would have been making a bigger push, and done my research earlier on. I got really on board with TikTok pretty early, earlier than a lot of people did, but of course, we'd always like to be earlier. And I was like, hey, like if I don't learn TikTok, I'm doing everyone a disservice. And I feel like I waited a smidge too long to help my clients with YouTube, but we're able to still jump over there and help them well. Um,
Mm.
but I wish I would have gone over there sooner. YouTube Shorts are just blowing my mind what they're doing for people.
Don't tell me that. I know what you're saying is true. It's truth. But and I at one point I remember doing YouTube really well, especially because I already do podcasts. These are easy to do, our Power Woman Wellness interviews. But yeah, it's just like being camera ready and then go, I don't know. It's just like an extra thing. And sometimes even like I usually look like a gremlin when I'm recording my like functional nutrition radio podcast because I'm like inspired at night. I'm in my PJs, I'm looking like a hot mess. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm absolutely not pulling out the camera to like speak on this. And so that's also something that like holds me back. I'm like, I just maybe need to do it when I am like zhuzhed up, and ready for the video.
Yeah, I always tell people I'm like, record how you feel your best, but also don't make that your roadblock, right? So
Yeah.
you've told me that before, I think when you and I just did that like little chat call.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's her roadblock. She doesn't
Totally.
want to show up unless she's jizzed up. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
I mean, being zhuzhed up is like barely anything for me. It's like lashes and my hair's kind of almost always done. I just do it one day after hair wash day and then boom, it lasts for days. But it's just, I think that there's an energy that goes into it. And I am a type of person that like, you can read my energy pretty quickly. So if like I don't want to be there, I'm not feeling to be there, it's
Yes.
very apparent and it's not the vibe that I want to give. But I used to do I feel like when you really plan it out ahead of time, I was able to do it well. And I one thing I love about YouTube is stays. It doesn't disappear like Instagram, which might be changing with the Instagram rules now of being a little bit more SEO friendly and being found. So that was kind of encouraging. But I know with Pinterest and YouTube, though, that's why those platforms are always kind of talked about because it's like your content will continue to grow. And I would agree. Like sometimes when I post a video, it's nothing, but like in 2 years, I'm like, wow, that's gotten up there, So it keeps working for you, which I love.
Yeah, it does. And YouTube Shorts are doing something really phenomenal right now where they have a really good reach, they have really good views. YouTube still has the most attention on it. And when people are watching those YouTube Shorts, it's cool because you can put the playlist into your longer, that traditional horizontal video. And we're
Mm.
finding when your YouTube Shorts, like those numbers go up, like a video does really well, it pulls up the views on that longer video too.
Oh, nice, nice. And YouTube Shorts is only, they're 60 seconds, right?
I think they moved it up to 3 minutes now.
Oh my God, they did.
Yeah.
Thank gosh.
I'm
Because
like,
I we
Hold on.
usually create on Instagram. Please tell
I'm
me
gonna
that's
Google it
true.
over here. Yeah, I'm all, was it 3 minutes or was it 90 seconds?
No, I
I know.
swear it was 60 seconds. I will take 90 seconds. I'll take 90 seconds. But the
Yeah, I
60
know they bumped
seconds
it up
sucked.
in your YouTube. I know I
Yeah.
should know this. Sorry. I don't think
No,
your
no, you're
shorts
good.
be.
I hope it did.
3 minutes. I was right. 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, this is news to my ears. That makes me so happy. Thank goodness. Because I feel like when I make content, and I usually do like kind of Instagram first because it's the easiest for me, and then we'll put on TikTok and all that. And but then there were times where I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. I want to put this on YouTube, but it's like a minute and 20 seconds.
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Damn, this is so annoying. So I love to hear that. It's like the best news I've heard all day.
Yeah, definitely throw your videos over on YouTube Shorts. It's just
Love
stupid
that.
easy,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And as someone who runs like a full scale content management company, how do you balance your creativity for your company with the demands of business growth?
Oh, that's a really great question. So one thing that I've done is I blocked off Tuesdays are just for like our creative content days. So it gives me time in the morning, like I won't take meetings and I won't have clients coming in. But it gives me time in the morning to be like, okay, I need to think about like what we're executing as a business this week. I always say like, I'm like, I need this thinking time. I need this thinking time, you know? And I used to do a
Yeah.
lot of it on the weekends and I was like, well, I want my weekends, you know? Business it flows. Like sometimes I'll do stuff
Yeah.
on weekends, you know, it's whatever.
Same.
Yeah. Um, but I blocked off Tuesdays, and that's our creative day. My in-person assistant, Cindy, she comes in and helps like execute all that content we're doing that day. So she sits at this desk just on the other side of my desk and like works with me that day. And so it
I
works
love
out
that.
really good.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Tuesday is actually a really great day, to be honest. What a good choice because I've always tried to do Monday and Friday, but Monday you're just catching up on all the things and all the things that might have piled up over the weekend. And then Friday you're just kind of tapped out. So I would say
Yeah.
like what a great day. A choice of
Oh, absolutely.
like did you know when you were picking that day?
I did, yes.
Okay.
After 10 years, I learned a few things. So Monday is a very like heavy work day for me. I still like to execute content like for my clients because I've noticed when I've stepped out too far, I lose kind of the relevance. So
Yeah.
Mondays I'll do the couple of TikTok accounts that I still manage for clients. Because then I can be like, I can bring something to the team meetings. I'm like, hey, I did this and it worked. You know, I like to stay really good at my
Yeah.
craft. So I execute my clients' content and I load it all in their TikTok drafts on Mondays. And then we have all of our team meetings on Mondays as well. So it's like a pretty heavy, like business execution day. And then
I love that.
Friday, I never want to do anything on Friday, like
I
ever.
know.
Like I have a big meeting tomorrow and I'm excited about it, but I'm like, oh, that's a Friday. I just,
What? Why did I do that to myself? I know I
yeah,
start kind of feeling it on Thursday. So yeah, I feel that. I know we're opening up an in-person clinic here in Austin. Hopefully, we just signed the lease, so like Q1, probably in January. But very excited, but also knowing that, having an in-person clinic is going to be a different storm and just me having to be there and potentially we'll have different modalities, but potentially being open on Saturdays to hit the our patients that like can't do, during the week because of work or they can't come after work or whatever. And it's just going to be a very interesting journey to understand what that is because I've been virtual for 10 years. So it's been so easy to like incorporate work-life balance. So that'll be a new journey for me.
yeah.
So I love that.
First, you'll have to probably hustle, right? And you'll just have to show up and do
Yeah.
it. But once you guys get to where you feel
The
established,
flow.
like be like, I don't work on Friday, because I'm doing Saturday or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. And kind of switching gears a little bit for your sober journey, tell us a little bit more about like what led to that choice and how it's really shaped and changed your life and personal life, but also in business life too.
Yeah. So I'm a full-blown alcoholic, so that's what led to that choice. Thanks for asking. No, just
Easy.
yeah. It wasn't one of those things where I was like, oh, I should try this out. A lot of people talk about being sober curious, and I was just mostly
Yeah.
curious why people wouldn't drink. So for me, it was like, you have to cut alcohol out. My
Yeah.
health was declining. I was working with a health coach. I was going to the hormone person, like someone like you. I was doing all the things, and then I was just like blatantly lying about how much I was drinking. So I
Yeah.
had to kind of do you know, like a hardcore look at my life. But essentially, it was like you either do this or your life is just going to continue to go downhill. I was super obsessive with alcohol, so it consumed like 90% of my thoughts and my time was like, where can I drink? When can I drink? How can I drink? How much is that person
Wow.
drinking? Yeah, so it
When
was,
did you notice that?
oh, gosh, Oh,
And realized it was a problem. Maybe I should add that. Like notice that and then realize this isn't normal.
yeah, I realized it was a problem, honestly, like pretty early 20s. At 29
Okay.
was the first time. Um, I'm having like a tech thing and my stupid eye, none of my eye stuff is talking to each other and it's all dinging.
It's okay.
So I'm
I
like,
haven't
I'm
heard
taking
any
off
if
the
that makes you
watch.
feel
I
better.
moved the iPad across the room and then I'm like, stop it. Like they're all having some sort of like issue of talking to each other. And I'm like, just go into do not disturb mode already.
I don't hear anything if that makes you feel better.
No, I just took off my watch. I'm like, and like threw it over there. I was like, stop it. But at 29, I had an incident where, I just overdrank blackout and I actually have a skull fracture from it. So at that point, I was like, I really should go to AA. But a lot of people close to me, like they talked me out of it.
Mm,
But it was, yeah, I've known that I've had a problem with alcohol for a long time. And even to the point where it was, I don't know how religious you are or whatnot, but it's like, I would be like, okay, I'm ready for like, what's next? I'd be driving and I would hear this audible voice that was like, if you cut out alcohol, a lot will change for you. And I just like couldn't do it. Um,
wow.
yeah. So, you guys can go back and listen to some of my episodes. I talk about it a lot. One of my most downloaded episodes is called Hungover, and it's where I come out of the closet and I was like, hey guys, I have been sober for 8 weeks and I've been working a treatment program. So, yeah,
Oh,
it was a
oh my
lot.
gosh. And I'm assuming you started drinking just early years, 21 earlier, just like the typical, I don't know.
17. Yeah, so I started drinking at 17 and I was doing it to numb. I loved that numbness, which it's
Mm,
false. There's so
yeah.
many, you get like that little fleeting moment. But alcohol is like the perfect neurotoxin. It
Yeah.
tells us that it loves us. It makes you feel really good and then basically like leaves you dead in a ditch. I mean, really, it's like a really shitty boyfriend. And they're like, but
Yeah.
he told me he loves me. Like it'll come back and love bomb you.
And I'm assuming too, you felt that difference like in your work to now being sober.
Yep.
Like
Mhm.
just maybe it's
Yes.
productivity, brain fog, more clarity.
A lot of it was I was constantly setting goals and then I was cycling back on them.
Mm,
And it was like I could never quite get there. And I am a high functioning alcoholic. So, my kids always were fed. They always had a great life. I was running my business, but I could tell you it was like walking through tar because it was constantly something that was dragging me back. And then, well, you and I, when you interviewed on my podcast yesterday, I was talking to you about progesterone and stuff like that.
yeah.
So, I get really, really depressed where, it's like been times where I'm like, I think I need to go like check myself in, things like that, because I don't want to be on this planet. But fixing my hormone levels and then ditching alcohol, that's all gone because alcohol really does. It's like, you have a little fire
Yeah.
going on and you're like, I need to take care of this. And alcohol is just like throwing gasoline on it.
Oh my gosh, so much so. So much so. I know, and it's always a hard conversation. I feel like most people are very open when we start working with them to taking breaks, but there's definitely some people that are, I would say, borderline or alcoholics, and they just don't know it yet. And you can tell that they don't know it yet.
Mhm.
But just little things and asks of like, can I have a glass of wine? I'm so used to having like 2 glasses of wine with dinner like every single night, and have done that for years and years and years, and they feel very lost without it. So yes,
Well,
I
and the truth is, if someone's telling you they're having 2 glasses of wine every night, they're having more than that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I appreciate your vulnerability there.
Yep.
What advice would you give to someone who feels stuck in that cycle of relying on alcohol to cope with whatever that they're feeling?
Yeah, so if you sound like me where you've tried to cut back, you're like, I'll cut back, and you can do pretty good for, maybe even a whole week or maybe even a whole month where you're like, okay, like I did really, really well. My husband, we were a military family, and during his last deployment, I was like, okay, like, it's not cute to go out and get drunk when your husband's overseas. Like that's unacceptable behavior to me?
Yeah.
Like, well, it's not cute to be putting yourself in stupid situations. And I think I was drunk, like, and hungover one time during that whole deployment. And what it did though is I was really good at virtue signaling myself. So I was like, oh my gosh, look how good I am. But it's a slippery slope. But I had to work on it so hard. I would say no to going out with everyone, and that doesn't mean I wasn't getting drunk at home. I just wasn't going out and getting drunk, right? So
Right.
let me like. Sometimes I'm like, be honest, Sam.
Did you also have to change your relationships, like your friends?
After getting sober, yeah, but during that year he was gone, I said no to a lot of things that I knew there was going to be alcohol at where I didn't feel like I could control it. But that should have been a huge wake up call to me. Um,
Yeah.
and then I would have to work so hard, so hard. I remember going to my one friend's birthday and she had it like at the pool and I'd be like, okay, you can stay for this drink, two drinks, three drinks. It was so hard. But you're also
Mm,
putting alcohol, which drops your prefrontal cortex and your cognitive ability. So once that third drink hit, I was no longer in
good.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are not steering the ship at
So,
that point.
so I'm telling you guys, if any of this sounds familiar, or you're like, well, I can manage it, and you virtual signal yourself, you're like, look how good I am. The other thing you like too, if you're like me, is you love when people get more drunk than you. You're like, see, look, I am so good. Yeah. If any of that, you most likely have a problem. I went to AA, that did it for me. A lot of people hate AA, and that's okay. I only go to the women's groups. Sometimes I'll go to the mixed meetings, but I've got like a pretty hardcore women's program I go to. And by hardcore, I just mean I attend it. There's no rules in AA really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was just gonna
Yeah.
ask if there was like an organization that you really loved and has helped
Yeah.
through the
Yeah,
transition.
so AA helped me a ton. It's free to go to. It's everywhere. A lot of people are like, I think they might think it's a little cultish, but I grew up in Utah, so I grew up around the Mormons. I know what cultish looks like. Um,
I know,
and
is it bad when someone
boy,
says Utah? I think Mormon.
yeah, I know what extreme religion looks like, and AA is not it. I didn't take a sponsor for like
Yeah,
6 or 7 months. I didn't start working the steps for 6 or 7 months, but that doesn't mean that's the right way to do it either. And that's what I think is cool
yeah,
about sobriety is like what's going to work for you. I have friends who went
yes,
to rehab and it was great for them. I have friends who went to rehab and it was a shit show.
yeah,
So do whatever works for you. There's so many resources, like chat GPT it.
yeah. I know. Do you have any other modalities that you added into AA? Things like old therapy, EMDR, but even like physical modalities that helped you a lot.
Yes. The thing that helped me the most was I started running. So I would run and I would cry and I would be like, why am I like this? Because at first I was seeing this as this horrible defects that God had given me. It was like, why are you
Yeah.
doing this to me, God? Why is this happening to me? Why am I like this? And I was in a really like trauma-based, victim-based space. And I would just run and I would like it just, I don't know, I would run and it was like therapy to me. I
Yeah.
had never been able to run before, like, well, we're all capable of running, but I could only run about a
I
minute.
don't know about me. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's like the cardio endurance.
Yeah. I'm
I
much
could
of a
only
strength
run about
trainer.
a minute. And so
Yeah.
then when I was like hitting 30 minutes, I would sit down on the trailhead and just start crying because I was like, oh my gosh, like I can do this. And it was
Mm,
relating directly to my alcoholism. It's like if I can run for 30 minutes, that was like the hardest thing. It's like I cannot have a drink today. So that helped me a ton, but that's not going to help everyone.
yeah. 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 Any other modalities that you really loved?
Um, Gosh, honestly, I went to AA. I listened to as many podcasts. One of the things that helped me the most was realizing that there was other people out there like me and that they
Yeah.
were thinking like me. So I filled up my Audible with books, that were written by women. And because they would say things, about like motherhood or different things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me. And that's why I'm so
Mm,
passionate about sharing my story. It's not because, I think you shouldn't drink, but I just want someone else to know if they're sitting in the position I was in that they're not broken, like their mind isn't effed up.
yeah. Yeah. 100%. And speaking of resources, and this could be with sobriety, this could be with business, favorite books or podcasts that really stand out to you that you like, someone says, what's your favorite book? You're like, oh my gosh, it's this book or this podcast.
Oh, I know. This is such a hard question for me because I change so much in like what I'm enjoying.
Yes, I
Um,
agree. Same.
yeah, I I really liked the Mel Robbins, the let them theory. And I know a lot of
Me
people.
too.
Okay, thank you. Because
I
some
did.
people see it as controversial. Um, but I really enjoyed that book. I know that book helped me a lot. Even though it just came out this year, that one helped a ton.
Yeah.
I'd have to pull up my Audible and like look at the books that really like changed my life. I'm gonna do it while we talk.
Wait, yeah, yeah. Wait, why do you think that people don't like it? I loved it. What
I
was
do
bad about
too.
it?
I don't know. And I just think people right now are so like black and white.
Oh my gosh, yes.
They're like,
In every single area of life. I feel from politics to religion to every single thing, it's
yeah,
very black and white and it's very much like if you're not black with me, if you're not white with me, then like it's just so intense right now. I love living in the gray zone because I usually can see both sides to every story and how people feel and be very empathetic to situations and honestly though become an independent thinker and make like what's right for me. And so that is easy for me to do. I know some other people probably struggle with that, but I loved it. I don't know. I don't even, as I'm like recalling, I'm like, I don't even think that was, because usually if I listen to something, I'm like, like, kind of questionable. Definitely read books like that, but I did not feel that way at all with Let Them. That's so surprising.
Yeah, I think it's just like if you don't believe in like this, then you are like racist.
This.
All this, you should die, you know, and or if you don't, and I think there's just a
Yes.
lot of that going on. But
Yes.
I loved it, and just take what you want, take what doesn't resonate. Okay, the book that I
Exactly.
really loved was Drunkish. That one was really good.
Okay. Gonna put these in the show notes. Okay, perfect.
The other thing that I did was I just started listening to like for fun books. So I kind of pushed a lot of self-help
Yes.
away, you know, and
Yeah.
I was just like, who's Samantha? What does she actually like? What does she want to do? And so now I probably go through like 5 or 6 audiobooks a month because I just love to listen to them. And maybe one out of every 10 is self-help.
Yeah, I do use my Kindle and then real physical books for my fiction books, and then I usually use Audible for my business, self-help, or yeah, real spiritual religious books. I usually will listen to them. But I agree with you. I think at one point books weren't cool. But I was always a reader growing up. Like I remember going to like Barnes and Nobles when Harry Potter came out, and like standing in line, like just the hype of that
Mhm.
and crushing that in like a whole like weekend. So I have loved reading. And then, yes, I think it was only self-help books because if you were reading fiction, you were kind of uncool. But then it came back and it made me so happy. And now, like, I am a proud book nerd, romance books typically, but I
Okay.
love a little mystery, love a little, I don't know, a little bit of everything. And it's such a joy.
You know what got through me? Oh my gosh, words. You know what got me through my first vacation sober was smut books.
Mm.
But
Oh,
like
yeah.
the smuttiest smut ever. I was reading it and I was like, oh my God, like I feel I've been married for a long time and I'm like, I don't know if I should be looking at this. Like the dirtiest books I could find. And I was just reading, I was sit on the beach. We went to Orange Beach in Alabama and I would just sit on the beach and read forever. And then one day my sister-in-law was like, I've been reading over your shoulder. And I was like, why would you do
Did
that?
you?
Yeah, and she's like, all I could see is pussy, pussy, pussy.
That's so funny. Those books, I always say, like, if you really question if you have low libido, read a smut book. And if you are reactive, girl, it's probably your relationship. It's not your libido. Because for me, oh, my libido definitely increased. My husband knows when I'm like reading and when I'm not reading. And so he knows what I'm reading. And so that's why I'm like, how can people read these things? Because I am just like, let's go. Like I am just ready.
I know. It New Year, we had gone with a bunch of friends to stay in a house, and I knew there was gonna be quite a bit of drinking, so I brought like a super smart book with me. And so I was up in my room reading, and my husband comes up and was like, "What are you reading?" And I was like, I started reading him out loud, and he's like, This is what you read?" He's like, "I just thought it was more like romance." And I'm like, "Oh no, it's like hardcore triple X."
Wait, I mean, obviously that everyone's rating is so different. I don't think I'm dirty, 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 dirty. Like I have a couple author friends and they're like, oh, Lahana, there's like way worse. But I can't also go into books that hop right into that. I hate them. Like the moment in the first chapter, a guy says he's horror, I'm like, ew, like I can't. I definitely need a story. I need a little bit of a build up. I need a little bit of a chase. Yes, I want that like top of the book where if they're finally together, it's like all your emotions are so happy for them. I'm a little bit more of that type of romance person. But yes, I can't have it where it's like triple X all the time or triple X starting out too early because I do love the story behind it. So I'm a little bit, I don't know.
Yes.
Everyone has like different tastes.
No, I'm reading a book right now, like a physical book, and it's taking a while to get into it, but I know it's gonna
The build
happen.
up.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I'm enjoying it. But they were like
They were
immediate, and
triple
I
X.
needed that. I was like, I needed that right out of the gate.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. The one that always stands out to me, I don't know if you've ever read it, is The Nanny by Lana Ferguson.
No,
That's a really good one.
okay, hold on.
I actually love her in general. I think there's only maybe one book she's a little bit of a newer author in the scene, but there's only one book that I like wasn't too in love with. But The Nanny I think was her first one, and I always am like watching out for any new books that she has.
Okay,
I love it. I do love
so
single dad, like do they call it tropes? Whatever. I love the single dad books.
ooh,
Yes.
you want husband material?
Yes, exactly. I don't want like ratchet type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. What does living like a power woman? who empowers wellness. What does that look like for you? Like, what does your day entail to make sure that you're putting wellness and your body, taking care of your body as the forefront?
Yes, I'm a very, very consistent person, and that's, I think, what it takes. It's not just, oh, once in a while, and then I don't go to the gym for 2 weeks. Because if we really
Yes.
track it and look at it, that's our typical behaviors.
Yeah.
Since getting sober, I just kind of put a lot of my attention into that. So for me, it's just being as active as I can be. And one thing my dad always says to me, because I have literally freaked out and been like, Dad, I don't get this. Like, why? And I'm referencing like my grandmas. And like, why do they all of a sudden just want to die? Like, why do they do, like, why are they just at home yelling at the TV? And he's like, okay, Sam, you just have to keep moving. And he tells me this all the time. He's like, you just keep moving.
Yeah.
My dad retired and then he joined the national parks. Like, he works for the national parks as a park ranger.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
So that's like his job now. So we went to Hawaii and he was there and he's like, I get to just walk. He's like, I just wanted to keep moving. That's the key to life is you always keep moving. So
I
that's his
agree.
retirement job. I mean, it's a real job, but that's what he does now. So he was at Volcanoes not too long ago and that was super fun to go see him. But
Oh my gosh. I
yeah, that was one
love
of
that.
my favorite trips. I went in April. And if anyone, this is a side note, but if anyone ever gets a chance to see active lava spewing from a volcano, like opt in. It's so cool.
It looks really cool, but I think it would make me also super nervous at the same
You're
time.
so far away from it, it doesn't feel,
Yeah.
like I think we were probably about a mile away from it. You could feel the heat, and we were getting hit with brand new little baby rocks.
Gosh, that's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
it was cool. They're just little tiny, and then also it spits out like glass threads. So it's everything that you read
Ooh.
about, in your books growing up. And then,
Yeah, like I remember in
yeah,
science, like in elementary school.
yeah, and I'm like, oh my God, lava really is in the earth? Because I always kind of wonder.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I know I always joke with my husband too that I think he is that type of personality that's like go, 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 which I always say, I'm like, I'm gonna do my business for as long as I live. Cause I was like, I don't want to retire. Like I can, and trust me, I love chilling. I love shows. I love going out to brunch. Like I love those things, but I can only do so much. Still need to have a purpose. I think I'm gonna want that for the rest of my life. And it's definitely something like building something, always
Yeah.
take it to the next level. But I always told my husband, I'm like, totally see you. Like, if you wanted to retire from what you typically did, but you wanted to like work at Home Depot and like help all the young bucks with their projects and stuff. Like, I was like, I totally see you doing that.
He's gonna be the dad. He's like, okay, so you're gonna need a quarter inch, whatever
Yes,
for that.
exactly. You need this nail, this thing. And I don't know. I really do think it like keeps you pretty young.
It does, yeah.
So,
But my
but
whole
no.
point was is, just keep moving. I did a round of 75 hard and my friend was like, "Oh my gosh, is it so hard?" And I'm like, "No, it's not," because I'd just been so consistent. So for
Yeah.
the second workout every day, we were just going for a walk at night and that was
Yeah.
amazing. And actually, I felt better. It was keeping because I started running at 39, so my hips lock up, the IT bands. I've
Yeah.
had a lot of issues with those, and the more I can walk and the more I can move, now I'm bending side to side, the better I feel.
Yeah.
So just keep moving and do whatever feels good to you. I go do a variety of things. Like I'll go to spin class. I'll occasionally go to yoga. I don't love it, but if somehow I find myself at yoga, I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. What does your nutrition look like for you?
So I have periods where I'm way more dialed in, and I know right now I haven't been for probably just like a couple weeks where I've just been like, sometimes I get over meat. My my goal is always that protein focus. So even
Yeah.
yesterday morning, I was just in a space where I didn't feel like eating, and that to me means I haven't been eating enough.
Yes.
So I just like I popped two hard-boiled eggs into my mouth and was like, swallow these. And then it's because I'll feel better. But I do focus on the protein. So, if it's chicken, it's meat. And then I try to keep everything really simple and not make our meals such a huge deal because it doesn't bring me joy. So
Yeah.
like protein, a carb, and a fiber. I'm pretty
Yeah.
fiber heavy too. So
For sure. For sure. No, I love that. I love that you know that when you don't feel hungry. Yes. Yay. Okay, so where can people find you? Your social media, your website? Give us the
yeah,
info.
the Samantha Parker is, thesamanthaparker.com, the Samantha Parker on Instagram, the Samantha Parker Show. My TikTok is Samantha Parker Show. Um, yeah, I have the Samantha Parker Show on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, and hopefully, I'm gonna try vlogging and stuff over on YouTube. We'll see how it does. Because right now my main YouTube videos are kind of just like they don't get a ton of views. So we're gonna try some new things. But my shorts, I like my shorts. If you guys are on your own sobriety journey, definitely come watch my TikTok. That's where a lot of people find me. You know, I get a lot of
I love
DMs.
that.
Gosh, it's crazy too. Like I even have people that go to AA with me because they found me on TikTok. So
Oh, I
if
love that.
yeah, don't feel weird about reaching out, even if you're not in my community. I live in St. George, Utah. But I'll try and help, you know?
Yeah, I love that. Well, thanks so much for coming on and sharing with us your journey.
Hmm. Totally.